I do what I want cause I'm signed to me. I get the bag. They get the back, have the cut in the half. Stop the comparing, y'all making me laugh. Need to rehab, I'm addicted to cash. Convertible walk, convertible talk.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Gin Blend Podcast. My name is JJ.
And I'm Raquel, aka Nurse Rock, and we're happy to have you guys back with us today. So I know JJ wants to jump right in, so let's go.
Yes, this is a good topic for us. It's a good look for our millennials. Okay. So this is why I'm excited to talk about this today.
Okay.
So I saw this article on Facebook. It was talking about millennial dads. So millennial dads are redefining fatherhood now, dedicating nearly 3 times as much time to childcare compared to fathers back in 1965. I guess those are the baby boomers?
Yes, they would have been fathers. Baby boomers would have been the fathers around 1965.
Averaging around 8 hours per week versus just 2.5 hours back then.
Wow.
So big jump. Good look for us.
Yep. Almost 3 times or a little bit more than 3 times.
I love that for us. Okay. The shift is more than logistical. 57% of millennial fathers view being a parent as core part of their identity, nearly on par with mothers.
Yeah, nearly. But yes, I really feel like this has been happening over the last, slowly transitioning, especially over the last decade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a real good look for y'all. Because
I feel like we getting more respect now, as we deserve it, as we're doing more. You know? Yeah.
I mean, and I feel like it should have always been, but I guess the times direct what people are doing. But I think it's good for the children to have some equal participation or nearly equal participation, because little minds don't understand, even if you know that you have, let's say, a father that's not involved very much, but still part of the household, the child may take it the wrong way when really that father's just trying to provide and make ends meet. A lot of working. Absolutely. So, I mean, that makes me go back and like we both, did our own research, but it makes me go back to looking at, as you go up through time, starting with the traditionalist, how the gender roles were defined. Okay. So if we go in and tap in a little bit on the traditionalist, now we're talking about the people that were born before 1946. These roles were traditional societies where the gender roles were distinctly defined. Men were typically seen as breadwinners and expected to be the breadwinners and the authority figure, while women were expected to be homemakers and caregivers.
Yep, I think that's everybody kind of knows that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's very accurate. Yeah, I think that's very accurate because even when you looking at old movies or know how your grandma did things, like I feel like even though they helped, now they helped a lot, but I feel like they were really the homemakers and the caregivers of everybody in the family. And sometimes the dad would leave and they work all day. Yeah. And come back late at night. So everybody was doing everything they could to survive.
The women's rights too wasn't as prevalent back then, so they couldn't really do too much but be home.
I agree. I agree with that.
Caregivers and stuff. So
I agree with that. So then when we move a little bit further, come a little bit toward the future a little bit, we start looking at how baby boomers. So baby boomers, this was like the era that saw the beginning of the change of gender roles because of World War II. Now, I'm very familiar with this change in history because I know it opened the doors for women in a lot of different roles. In the mid-60s, I know that nurse practitioners, what I'm studying to become, that is the start of a nurse practitioner. It was not even that long ago. In the mid-1960s, because you had so many people away and because of the war. Yeah. So they had to fill in.
Yeah, all the men were going.
Right. Yeah. And so there were a lot of things that women had to take up and handle in order for the society to keep moving. And then they saw that they were actually very good at it. Yeah. So even though it was still a struggle, they did prove themselves that there were things that they could do. Okay. Right. So
as we're going along with the different generations, I just want to point out that I'm not saying that the fathers back then in the past generations were bad. It was just the things that they had to go through and the circumstances they had to endure.
They had different circumstances.
So I'm not saying that they were bad fathers back then, but we're seeing improvement as time goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So when we move on up to the Gen Xers, which are born from 1965 to 1980. Hello, my fellow Gen Xers. So, yes. So gender roles were actually definitely showing a shift, right? So these roles became increasingly fluid. I like the way that's worded. The idea was a shared responsibility in the household. So parenting duties began to be shared. That's that whole idea started to have more traction and started to stick, and it became more recognizable. Where some people didn't see it much, but then it became more recognizable during that time. And so different roles such as dual income households, right? Then you had men that took active parenting roles, and then you had a growing acceptance of a diverse family structure and gender identities.
Okay. And then this is around the time where, women's rights was coming into play too, right?
This was definitely a time when the rights were it was like we were winning, right?
Yeah.
We finally had a voice.
Yeah. More involvement.
More involved.
Less discrimination in the workplace where you
Right.
can actually work and make some money.
People were starting to come together.
Yeah. Even though back then there was still discrepancies in the pay difference. But y'all were making more money than y'all were before.
Yep.
So,
a lot of women came together and they fought, and then I just feel like we can't really just take the credit as the women doing it, because I feel like by men also encouraging and supporting that whole idea, it helped things grow. Now
I feel like they was like, hey, I need some help. Like the bills started getting like, hey,
right.
I wouldn't mind some help.
right now. But the thing is that it's like a bittersweet type of thing. So when you start discussing this kind of stuff, but then we still see such a pay discrepancy though, like today, between men and women to do the same role.
Yeah.
So we definitely have room to grow.
Yeah.
Definitely have some room to grow.
Yeah. But we've been seeing the improvement as time goes on.
Yes. I think people have voices now. People are speaking up.
Yeah.
And that's helping. It's taking things in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right. So then when we move up to millennials. So with millennials, now they have definitely stepped up the whole challenging of traditional gender roles by advocating for equality, inclusivity, in all aspects of life, and they also make sure that this is done in the workplace, with the family, and also social issues. So millennials start to not leave out any cat. They want to cover all the bases. So I felt like generations before stayed and isolated.
Yeah.
Millennials like
it's inclusive.
Yeah, we're gonna do everything.
Yeah, I can see that. Right? Like the millennial women are a lot more, even some of Gen X too, but they're a lot more independent.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But I feel like even with the Gen Xers, the later Gen Xers, I think, like throughout that crossover time between the millennial and the Gen X, as the Gen Xers got older, their voice, they felt like they're going to make sure their voice is heard, because there was a lot of changes that happened in the, during our time as well.
The women today are making that coin, man. They making a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all know how to get to the money. I'll say that.
We're very smart.
Yeah.
So then we go to the generation, or the Gen Zs. So they tend to reject the notion of gender, and they advocate for people to be inclusive.
Yep. Okay. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
They have an emphasis on authenticity and individuality, which I definitely see that in the Gen Zs.
Yeah.
For sure. So we know that the roles definitely have changed. I mean, I feel like still, like even when it comes to when we see it in our jobs, we kind of see a balance of the roles out there. Even in sports.
Yeah. But like with the job thing, going back to job, like me growing up, like having different jobs, like a lot of women was like my supervisors and had like
Leadership
the
roles.
leadership roles, and they making that bank. And so I can definitely see the change in millennials and Gen Z.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely see the change.
And then even some of y'all Gen Xers benefit too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's good. Yeah.
It's definitely it's going in the right direction.
I feel like it gives more security, a security blanket for the families. Like if one, because back then, if the man lost their job, like the whole family's in shambles. But then now, if one lost the job, the other one can kind of like pick up the slack a little bit.
Yeah.
It might not be pick up all of it, but it can slow the, put pressure on the wound and slow the bleeding. You know what I'm saying? So
what do you think? And I want to know from you guys too. So what do you think some of the reasons are, even though we strive to have equality and even in the workplace, what do you think are some of the reasons for such a big pay disparity? Like, why is it different? Why is the pay so different between men and women? Because it's definitely not the brains or the effort or the work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say would be one of the issues?
I don't know. I just think the men in power are not ready to relinquish all the power over to women. That's why we haven't seen. I think that's why we haven't seen a woman president yet. So I think the men in power, they are holding on to those old traditions, and they're not ready to relinquish like all the power over to women. And I think too that some men think that women are too, because y'all are emotional creatures. I think sometimes they think that y'all make decisions off emotions, and they don't think y'all qualified. Some men in certain areas. Not saying that's me, but I think that's how some men think.
I mean, well, I think that's in the readings. I think that they do. That is one of the reasons. They also speculate to one of the reasons being that women are childbearers, and so they are going to be getting pregnant and raising families and things like that, and so they feel their priorities will most likely be to their families.
Yeah, which ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, but most women are multitaskers. It's like we can balance both.
Yeah, I think that's the problem though, because sometimes y'all are very strong beings, but sometimes y'all be trying to take on too much. And sometimes us men be trying to protect y'all, save y'all from doing that. Cause like, we get y'all hard workers, but you just gave life. Like you need time to recover and get back to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like certain stuff you just gotta like let it be.
So what if if a woman takes a break? Let's say she was a CEO, had a baby, or got pregnant, wanted to have a baby, stepped away for like a year. When she comes back in the game, she still has all that knowledge that she had. But I think it would be sometimes that kind of stuff is held against her from advancing because she took a year to.
I don't know, man. It's life.
Man, come on. Come on now.
So, going back to the article, this transition isn't without challenges. Despite increased involvement, millennial dads are often caught in a tug of war between evolving expectations at home and rigid workplace norms. Many struggle to balance modern caregiving with job demands in a system that still champions traditional breadwinner roles and offers limited parental leave. So even though we're more involved as a parent, we still have those pressures of bringing the money home and working just as hard. So that hasn't changed as far as the provider side, but the parental side has changed. So I feel like now it's more pressure on us as millennial dads. But I feel like sometimes, well, for me, I definitely feel the pressure, but it also gives me joy. Like I don't think being a parent is that hard if you just put in the effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think if you feel pressured a little bit, as being a dad or whichever one. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a
because
good pressure.
I would be more worried if you didn't care at all.
Yeah, there's such thing as
Because
good pressure.
there's that whole other there's a whole another side. And there are some that won't feel not one inkling of pressure because they're not even gonna make an effort.
Yeah,
So I'd rather be the one that feels a little pressure and make and I think it's kind of feeling what a lot of women feel anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, y'all always feel that pressure. Yeah. So we're just now feeling the pressure, but to us, it's a good pressure because I feel like it's kind of cliche, but pressure make diamonds. Yeah. So I feel like that pressure pushes me to want to do better and have more for my child.
That's awesome.
And
then I think about, another thing that's kind of starting to be more common, or it has been normalized. You would never see many single dads. It was a rarity to see single dads taking like their family.
Yeah.
Now I think there's a growing amount of single dads that are willing to care for their children. We've always known and heard of single moms.
Yeah.
So that was, that wasn't anything that any of us would like shocked about. But I'm a little bit like, in a good way, of how many stories or times I even in just normal life find out that somebody's a single dad taking care of the business.
But even on the other side where it's not single dad, I think like back in the day, dads wasn't really involved until the kids got a little bit older, or whatever. Because dads won't changing diapers and stuff like that back then. But now dads know how to do all that, and you see dads more out by themselves with like the younger children when they're like infants and toddlers and stuff. When
you just brought up a really good point that I was trying to make earlier that I lost in my head. Even during the traditionalist times, you did not have the father in the room. The nurse or the helpmate or whoever was in there would come out and tell them, hey, or they would be in another room listening to the woman scream and all that.
Oh, I thought they was always in there.
No. It was not a normal thing for the man to be inside during labor or in the room and holding the hand and helping the wife push or the mom push the baby or none of that. So
they missed out.
It has, I know, right? So things have really changed, even with that, even with the birth of the child. There's been a big difference as generations went on.
Yeah, I know them dads won't change no diapers or fixing no
they
milk.
Probably weren't doing much of that.
They probably didn't know how to make the milk. They didn't know how to change the diaper.
Well, I mean, back then they probably, it was probably nursing most of the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it was just them looking in and holding the baby here and there, or
did pops know how to make a bottle?
That kind of thing. Your dad pretty much knew how to do everything.
Okay. I got some friends that they good dads, but they won't touch no diapers. I ain't gonna say no names, but yeah, I got some people that don't touch diapers.
Well, fun fact about you,
they have, but they don't do it as much as the mother does.
Well, fun fact about you is your dad ended up having knee surgery, and so he was able to be home with you, and so he kind of made sure you were good for when I tried to go back to work. For a few weeks, and then I was like, nope, gotta go home to the baby.
I say at first when Layla was first born, I wasn't that involved with all that type of stuff, like giving her a bath and stuff like that. But like I say, after like the first year, I started like learning like what she needs and how to bathe her and changing the diapers and staying on top of that and knowing how to take care of her without her mom being there and me just being at the house by myself. So I learned pretty fast after doing it.
It just takes you doing it, and as long as you when you love your child and you want the best for him, it doesn't take a whole lot to kind of put all that stuff together. But I thought this was very interesting, and especially from people that really didn't know like that. I'm glad there was something that you didn't know about, fathers not being in the room during birth, that kind of thing. But that's what it's all about, y'all. Just get in the comments. Let us know some things that we made, because I love it when you guys remind us of different things that we because this is like we're talking, right? So we're not gonna hit every aspect of a certain topic. So make sure if there's something that we missed that you want to highlight, make sure you put it in the comments, because we definitely appreciate y'all being in there every week. We enjoy the communication and engagement. So I think this was a great subject. Shout out, and to all you fathers, shout out to y'all for being more involved with these babies, because guess what? You're improving their life by being a part of it. It gives them a solid foundation, and it helps them know that they have a net. I think the more people that they can count on and see support them, it gives them an extra layer of security. And that's what we want for our kids, for sure.
And we recorded this whole episode while B trying to be a father. Now Layla in the background,
but she was good back there.
Layla, come here. Layla, she coming, y'all. See what I know. Some of my homies is like, when the star gonna make an appearance on the episode?
Come on, you can make an appearance. Okay, y'all, meet Layla. Say hello. Layla, say hello to everyone.
Hello.
Talk to the mic.
Hello.
How old are you?
4.
4 years old. Okay, and what's happening tomorrow?
I'm going to school.
You're going to school. Her first day of pre-K. Yay, Layla. You love your daddy? You got a good daddy? I think she's starstruck by herself, y'all. I think she's looking at herself. But anyway, we appreciate y'all. JJ, what's the word? What is going to be the word so we know that the people watch the end of the episode?
Let's comment. What's a good good word?
What about her?
Layla?
Yep.
Yeah. Or you can comment Pearl.
Oh, Pearl.
Layla Pearl. Pearl is her middle name.
That's her middle name. So
comment Pearl if you watch the whole episode.
You're over here, and Mary's over there.
That's right.
Yeah. So comment Pearl.
Say thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you for watching, guys.
All right, guys. Until next time, we enjoyed it. Let's go.
She walk around like she Cristiano. I used to break in the Emma, then take out running like the game of Temple. It's simple, I play with her mental. Mama said she saw me on Jimmy Kimmel. Canada, cause I'm a money symbol. Walking with the rats, I'm looking crippled.